Welcome, Capricorn, to your Venus in Aries deep dive forecast from March the 6th through to March the 30th. Venus, the relator, but also the planet of money, moves through the fire sign of Aries. We can think about Venus in Aries in isolation. I'm going to share your event chart and how other planetary influences are going to be important over the next 25 days. I'm also going to share with you your upcoming influences too. By the end of the video, you'll have a clearer picture of what you can expect around resources and connections. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now. Venus in Aries is detrimented. Venus rules two zodiac signs of Taurus, your fellow earth sign, which is very much about a sultry appreciation, a sensuality, but it's also very much about our life foundation, stability, and everyday money. Venus's rulership of the sign of Libra, very much more communicational, but about relationships. But in the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, that's very much about action and passion and initiation all combined. But the fourth house, as it is for you, can be about our home, our emotions, and being more cautious in our approach. But for you, over the next 25 days, one of the things that Venus can stimulate is a desire to improve your immediate environment. And one of the best ways to do that is through decorative changes. And because Venus is initially connecting with Neptune, you may find that your choices, if you are thinking of making some changes or buying some new furnishings, can be very creative and very stylish too. Venus really appreciates those things. But you also have Venus meeting up with the strict Saturn by the 8th of March. And that could mean that when it comes to family relationships or even a love relationship in terms of the emotional dimension, if things aren't running quite as smoothly as they could, no amount of diplomacy that comes from Venus will prevent the more reserved and more scrutinizing energy of Saturn showing up. So you could find yourself feeling a bit tongue-tied with someone that you're drawn to, or maybe there's going to be a cool silence. In extreme cases, two people could really consider whether they want to continue. But do know the collective of other players, including the ruler of the sign of Aries, Mars, in the third house is very much about sparky interaction. And it can be where your passion and enthusiasm can really shine through. It's just that Mercury, which is very much to do with third house energy, is in a retrograde and is detrimented. So communications generally at the moment can be a bit blurry, but enthusiasm strong. So what I get from the mix of those two energies is the need to communicate sensitively, and that's going to be very important over the next few weeks. But if you are unsure whether there is a good foundation in any relationship, it may show up around the 8th. But also, it could be a time when some tricky and delicate issues can finally be dealt with because Venus in Aries has some assets, not least a desire to discuss things in a very straightforward and instant way. It can be the planet which craves things, desires things. If you're not living somewhere that's appropriate at the moment and you want to change that, your desire to make that happen, particularly uh, with your presence of Mars in that third house, is going to give you a greater sense of urgency to improve that home environment. But once Venus gets beyond Saturn, she does start to forge from the 10th for a week a marvelous link to Pluto. If you work from home or you're wanting to make money through a renovation of a property, whether it is decorative or it is more fundamental and physical, it's a prime time to do it. But I want to draw your attention to Jupiter because Venus is very much about relating, but Jupiter, the planet of fortune, the greater benefit, is in your sector of relating. And from the 11th of March goes direct. And in week 3, the advancing Venus is in a square with Jupiter. You could meet someone who you do feel at ease with at that time, who you do feel very comfortable with. who you can show perhaps your vulnerabilities to, but at some level, the other person seems to cheer you up, be supportive, or very encouraging. And that's something to really look out for. But later on in the month, Venus is going to be uh, aligning with Chiron. And if your home or emotional life has had some challenging moments, pretty well since February 2019, it's a great opportunity to perhaps talk about some of those challenges and reflect on them. You may feel somewhat nostalgic, but you can also celebrate looking at a situation in a different way. And perhaps some forgiveness might be possible. It may even be over that rather tense exchange that's possible on the 8th of March with Venus supplying to Saturn. So some healing is possible towards the end of the month. But with the Sun moving to join up with Venus on the 20th of March, as he returns to start the new astrological year with the vernal equinox, your home and emotional world is going to be important right through to the end of the month. And getting that combination of communication and sensitivity is really the big theme of the month, but there is an opportunity to improve relationships, particularly from the 11th when Jupiter goes direct. Now, when it comes to your professional and financial situation, Uranus is in the part of your chart that's very much to do with speculation, can be to do with risk, but it most of all can be to do with innovation. What I would say is that the developing energy here, because we are very close to a Mercury cosmi when Venus moves into Aries, don't underestimate the brilliance of your ideas if you are wanting to be more creative. But at all times, do listen to your inner voice. Sometimes when you were younger, perhaps you were a little bit on the cautious side, but that is something that is also a part of your nature that comes from experience and wisdom. And if you are thinking about emotional relationships at the moment or family dynamics, that experience of your past will hold you in good stead. It's been a pleasure being with you. If you've yet to watch your deep dive for March, please see that link. If you've yet to watch your traditional ruler Mars's journey through Pisces for the next 6 weeks, please click on that link. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. If you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, you can get 50% off by applying Astro 26 at the checkout, or if you want your Draconic, Soul, Karmic versions, please apply Draco 26 at the checkout to get 50% off. Thank you.